Tired of watching your retirement savings evaporate on property taxes and insurance while living in a cramped condo? What if I told you that for less than a luxury car payment, you could own a piece of paradise on Lake Como, Italy's crown jewel, where Hollywood stars pay millions just to vacation? Today, we're uncovering 7 incredible $44,000 properties that locals are practically giving away, but could transform your golden years into something extraordinary. And number 2, we'll leave you speechless. Number 7, the Mountain Village Retreat, Pigra. Picture this: morning mist rolling off ancient stone walls as church bells echo through valleys that have remained unchanged for centuries. Welcome to Pigra, a forgotten mountain village perched 900 meters above Lake Como's shimmering waters. The air here tastes crisp and clean, carrying the fragrance of wild rosemary and the distant sound of cowbells from alpine pastures. Here, your $44,000 doesn't just buy you a house, it buys you a slice of old-world Italy that most tourists never discover. These aren't just properties, they're centuries-old stone cottages with thick walls that keep you cool in summer and cozy by the fireplace when winter snow blankets the surrounding peaks. Imagine stepping out your front door to cobblestone paths worn smooth by generations, where your biggest decision is whether to have your morning espresso at Giuseppe's Cafe or Maria's Bakery. Your 2-bedroom stone cottage comes with renovation potential for around $20,000, transforming rustic charm into comfortable luxury. Monthly utilities run about $85, covering heating, electricity, and water that flows from mountain springs. Property taxes here are almost laughable compared to what you're used to, just $180 annually. Fresh groceries from local markets where vendors know your name will cost around $200 each month, while dining at family trattorias where recipes have been passed down for generations runs $12 to $15 per meal. Internet connection to stay in touch with family back home costs $35 monthly. Pigra sits in Lombardy, one of Italy's most stable and prosperous regions, where crime is virtually non-existent and locals still leave doors unlocked. The village connects to civilization by a scenic funicular railway that's an adventure in itself, while Como city center is just 45 minutes away by car through winding mountain roads that rival any postcard. Italy's elective residency visa welcomes retirees with $31,000 annual passive income, and the local health system provides excellent care at a fraction of what you'd pay back home. When Maria, a teacher from Oregon, first climbed the steep path to her Pigra cottage, she wondered if she'd made a mistake. The stone walls felt cold, the village seemed impossibly quiet, and she spoke maybe 10 words of Italian. Months later, she was harvesting tomatoes from her terraced garden, chatting with neighbors in broken Italian mixed with enthusiastic gestures, and sleeping better than she had in decades. "I thought retirement meant settling for less," she says, gesturing toward the lake view from her kitchen window. "Instead, I found more life than I ever imagined." Number 6, the lakeside ghost town, Colonno. Imagine owning a home where your backyard is literally Lake Como, where you can see celebrity villas across the water, and where your morning coffee comes with views that people pay thousands just to glimpse from a hotel window. Now imagine the only sound is gentle waves lapping against ancient stones and the occasional fisherman's boat puttering past. Colonno is a lakeside village that time forgot, once a thriving fishing community. It's now home to fewer than 500 souls who guard their piece of paradise like a well-kept secret. The stone houses here tumble down terraced hillsides toward the water's edge, their weathered facades hiding modern comforts within. Morning light dances across the lake surface, painting your living room walls with shifting patterns of gold and blue. For $44,000, you're looking at a lakeside cottage that needs love, but offers rewards beyond measure. These properties typically feature 2 to 3 bedrooms, original stone fireplaces, and terraces that overlook the deepest part of Lake Como. Renovation costs run between $25,000 and $35,000 to bring plumbing and electricity up to modern standards, while preserving the authentic character that makes these homes special. Monthly utilities average $95, including heating that you'll barely need. thanks to the lake's moderating influence on temperature. Property taxes remain incredibly affordable at $220 annually, while groceries from the weekly market in nearby Bellagio cost around $180 monthly. Dining lakeside at local restaurants runs $15 to $20 per meal, where fresh fish caught that morning appears on handwritten menus. Colonno benefits from its position in Como province, one of Italy's safest regions, with crime rates so low they barely register on national statistics. The village sits on major ferry routes connecting you to Bellagio, Verona, and other famous lake destinations within minutes. For residency, Italy's self-employed visa program accepts retirees with proven passive income, while the regional healthcare system provides comprehensive coverage for around $60 monthly. Robert, a retired engineer from Minneapolis, bought his Colonno cottage site unseen after a single video call with the seller. Friends thought he'd lost his mind. Now he spends mornings swimming in the lake from his private stone steps, afternoons reading on his terrace as ferries glide past, and evenings walking to the village osteria, where the owner saves him his favorite table overlooking the water. Back home, I had a bigger house and a busier life, he reflects. Here, I have a richer one. Number 5, the artist's sanctuary, Dorio. Step into a world where creativity flows as freely as the mountain streams that feed Lake Como. Dorio clings to steep hillsides like a medieval painting, its narrow stone streets and hidden courtyards offering endless inspiration for anyone seeking beauty in their daily life. The village breathes art and history, from ancient frescoes peeking through weathered walls to gardens where lemon trees grow impossibly in the mountain air. This is where your $44,000 transforms into something magical. Dorio's houses are architectural gems, waiting for the right person to unlock their potential. Picture high ceilings with original wood beams, stone archways that frame lake views, and rooms that flow naturally from one to another, like verses in a poem. Many properties come with small vineyards or olive groves, where you can produce your own wine and oil, using methods unchanged for generations. A typical Dorio property requires renovation investment of $18,000 to $30,000, depending on your vision and ambition. The reward is a home that could grace any design magazine, with modern amenities hidden seamlessly within historic walls. Monthly utilities run approximately $75, thanks to excellent insulation from thick stone construction and mild lake climate. Annual property taxes hover around $160, while fresh produce from local farmers costs about $190 monthly. Restaurant meals, featuring ingredients grown in village gardens, range from $14 to $18, accompanied by wines produced just up the hill. Dorio sits in a designated UNESCO protection zone, ensuring your investment remains surrounded by unspoiled natural beauty forever. The village maintains traditional festivals and markets that connect you to centuries of culture, while modern amenities like high-speed internet keep you connected to the wider world. Italy's investment visa program welcomes retirees who can demonstrate financial self-sufficiency, typically around $28,000 annually in passive income. Sarah, a retired art therapist from San Francisco, fell in love with Dorio's creative energy before she even saw a property. She bought a centuries-old house with a studio space and spent a year carefully restoring original frescoes, while adding modern conveniences. Now her home serves as both personal sanctuary and occasional workshop space for visiting artists. "I came here to retire," she says, mixing pigments in her light-filled studio. "Instead, I found my second act." If this is helping you envision a different kind of retirement, consider hitting subscribe. It supports the channel and helps us bring you more hidden gems like these. Number 4, the Valley Hideaway, Sorico. Hidden at Lake Como's northern tip, where the lake narrows into wild valleys and mountain peaks touch the sky, lies Sorico, a village so pristine it feels like stepping into a nature documentary. Here, the bustle of tourist boats gives way to the sounds of rushing streams and wind through ancient trees. This is raw, untouched Italy, where your retirement unfolds against a backdrop of natural drama. Sorico offers something extraordinary: lakefront properties within your $44,000 budget. These aren't just homes, they're gateways to adventure. Imagine waking in a stone cottage where deer graze in your garden at dawn, where hiking trails begin at your doorstep, and where the lake stretches blue and pristine toward distant mountains. The air carries the scent of pine and wildflowers, while eagles soar overhead on thermal currents. Your Sorico property comes with character that money can't buy elsewhere. Thick stone walls, original wood ceilings, and windows that frame views of untouched wilderness. Renovation costs typically range from $20,000 to $28,000, transforming rustic authenticity into comfortable luxury, while preserving the connection to nature that makes these homes special. Monthly utilities average $80, including heating costs kept low by excellent natural insulation and mild lake climate. Property taxes remain minimal at $195 annually, while groceries from local suppliers cost around $210 monthly. Dining at traditional mountain restaurants runs $13 to $17 per meal, featuring game, fresh fish, and produce grown in local soil. Sorico benefits from its location in northern Lombardy, where Italian efficiency meets Alpine safety standards. The village maintains its own medical clinic and pharmacy, while major hospitals in Como City are accessible within an hour. Wildlife protection laws ensure your natural paradise remains unchanged, while improved internet infrastructure keeps you connected to family and friends worldwide. Italy's retirement residency requirements remain straightforward for those with documented passive income. James, a retired park ranger from Colorado, chose Sorico specifically for its wild character. His cottage sits where the lake meets a mountain stream, with views that change hourly as weather patterns shift across the peaks. He spends mornings photographing wildlife from his terrace, afternoons hiking trails that lead to hidden waterfalls, and evenings fishing for trout that fight like champions in the clear, cold water. "I traded suburban convenience for something priceless," he says. Connection to the natural world that cities make you forget exists. Number 3, the historic fortress, Gravedona. Prepare yourself for something extraordinary. Gravedona isn't just a village. It's a living museum where every stone tells stories of merchants, nobles, and artists who shaped European history. The village rises from Lake Como's shores in layers of ancient architecture, from medieval churches to Renaissance palaces, all crowned by fortress walls that have stood sentinel for over 1,000 years. Your $44,000 here buys you a piece of this living history. Properties in Gravedona often feature original architectural details that would cost millions to recreate. Hand-carved stone doorways, vaulted ceilings painted by forgotten masters, courtyards where fountain music echoes off ancient walls. These aren't just homes. They're chapters in an ongoing story that you become part of the moment you turn your key in a lock that's welcomed residents for centuries. Gravedona properties demand respect and investment, typically requiring $30,000 to $45,000 in careful restoration that honors their heritage while adding modern comfort. The reward is a home that transcends ordinary real estate, becoming a sanctuary where every room reveals new details and every season brings different light through windows, placed by medieval architects who understood beauty. Monthly utilities run approximately $110, higher than simpler villages, but still a fraction of what comparable historic properties cost elsewhere. Annual property taxes of $240 reflect the property's heritage value, while groceries from markets held in the same squares for centuries cost around $220 monthly. Dining in restaurants occupying medieval buildings runs $18 to $25 per meal, where traditional recipes are served in rooms that have hosted travelers for generations. Gravedona sits under special historic protection, ensuring your investment in Italian heritage remains preserved and protected by law. The village maintains active cultural programs, from music festivals in ancient churches to art exhibitions in renovated palaces. Medical care meets modern standards at the regional hospital, while the village pharmacy occupies a building older than most American cities. Residency requirements follow standard Italian protocols for retirees with documented income. Catherine, a retired museum curator from Boston, spent 2 years searching for the perfect historic property before finding her Gravedona home. The Renaissance-era townhouse came with original frescoes, a medieval wine cellar, and a tower room with panoramic lake views. She invested carefully in restoration, that revealed hidden treasures, a forgotten chapel, original tile work, and a garden designed according to monastery traditions. I didn't just buy a house, she reflects from her centuries-old terrace. I became a steward of something irreplaceable. Number 2. The Island Escape. Comacina. This will shock you. For $44,000, you can own property on Italy's only lake island, a place so exclusive that most Italians never set foot on it, where archaeological treasures hide beneath olive groves, and where your only neighbors are ruins of ancient palaces and the occasional research scientist studying medieval history. Isola Comacina sits like a jewel in Lake Como's southwestern arm, connected to the mainland only by private boat, or the historic ferry that has carried visitors since Roman times. This tiny island, just 600 meters long, holds more history per square foot than anywhere else on the lake. Your property here isn't just a home, it's a sanctuary on land where saints once lived, where medieval armies fought decisive battles, and where artists still come seeking inspiration from landscapes unchanged since Renaissance painters first captured them on canvas. The island offers unique opportunities: small cottages that once housed monastery servants, stone buildings that sheltered pilgrims on their way to Rome, and properties with archaeological significance that make every garden renovation an adventure in discovery. Renovation requirements vary dramatically, from $15,000 for simple cottages to $40,000 for more complex historical structures. But every project must meet strict preservation guidelines that ensure the island's character remains intact. Monthly costs run higher due to the island location. Utilities average $130 due to boat transportation of materials and specialist maintenance. Property taxes reflect the unique status at $280 annually, while groceries arrive by boat weekly, costing around $250 monthly for fresh delivery. Dining happens at the island's single restaurant, where meals cost $25 to $35, but feature ingredients grown in the island's own gardens, and fish caught in surrounding waters. Comacina operates under special archaeological protection, meaning your property investment contributes to preserving one of Europe's most important historical sites. The island maintains its own small clinic during summer months, while full medical care is available via quick boat transfer to Sela Comacina on the mainland. Internet connection arrives via underwater cable, providing reliable modern communication to this ancient sanctuary. Residency requires special permits beyond normal Italian requirements, but the exclusivity makes these properties among Europe's most unique retirement destinations. David, a retired antiquarian book dealer from London, acquired his Comacina cottage after a chance meeting with the island's caretaker during a lake tour. The property came with its own small vineyard and a wine cave carved into living rock. He spends mornings rowing to shore for groceries, afternoons cataloging archaeological finds discovered in his garden, and evenings watching sunset paint the surrounding mountains in colors that have inspired artists for centuries. People collect rare books, he says, tending vines that may be descendants of Roman plantings. I collect rare experiences. But before we reach our most incredible discovery, tell us in the comments, which of these hidden gems has surprised you the most so far? Number 1. The Royal Retreat, Bellagio Hills. Prepare yourself for the impossible. For $44,000, less than most people spend on a car, you can own a piece of the hills above Bellagio, the crown jewel of Lake Como, where royalty once built summer palaces, and where today's celebrities pay fortunes just to vacation. These aren't just properties. They're positions in paradise that offer everything you've dreamed retirement could be. The hills above Bellagio hide treasures that most visitors never discover. Stone cottages nested among terraced gardens, where lemon trees perfume the air with their blossoms. Historic villas built by silk merchants who made fortunes trading with the world. Properties with panoramic views that encompass not just Lake Como, but neighboring lakes and the Alps beyond. The morning light here inspired some of Europe's greatest landscape artists, while evening brings colors that seem impossible until you witness them yourself. Your hilltop property comes with provenance that money usually can't buy. Many of these homes trace their history to noble families, silk manufacturers, or artists who recognize this land's unique magic. Original architectural details include hand-painted ceilings, marble fireplaces carved by Italian masters, and gardens designed according to principles that create beauty in every season. Restoration investment ranges from $25,000 to $50,000, depending on the property's scope and your vision. But the results rival luxury resorts that charge thousands per night for similar views and amenities. Living costs reflect the prestigious location, but remain astoundingly affordable compared to similar properties worldwide. Monthly utilities average $120, including heating costs reduced by optimal sun exposure and protection from alpine winds. Property taxes of $320 annually seem almost insulting for land that offers such extraordinary beauty and location. Groceries from Bellagio's famous markets, where vendors have served aristocratic families for generations, cost around $240 monthly. Dining in Bellagio's world-renowned restaurants runs $30 to $45 per meal, but you're paying for cuisine that has earned international recognition and settings that define Italian elegance. The Bellagio Hills benefit from some of Italy's strictest preservation laws, ensuring your investment in beauty remains protected forever. The area maintains excellent medical facilities, including specialists who serve the international community of residents and visitors. Transportation connections include regular ferry service to all lake destinations, while Milan's international airport remains accessible within 90 minutes. Residency requirements follow standard Italian procedures, with local officials experienced in helping international retirees navigate the process. Elena, a retired opera singer from New York, found her Bellagio Hills villa after years of searching for the perfect retirement setting. The property came with a private chapel, gardens that cascade down the hillside in terraces, and views that encompass 3 countries on clear days. She invested in careful restoration that revealed hidden frescoes and transformed the villa into a setting worthy of its location. Now she hosts intimate concerts in her gardens for friends and neighbors, her voice carrying across valleys that have echoed with music for centuries. "I spent my career performing in the world's great opera houses," she says, gesturing toward a sunset that paints the lake golden pink. "This is where I found my final perfect stage." These aren't just houses. They're keys to unlocking a retirement beyond anything you imagine possible. While others worry about rising costs and shrinking possibilities, you could be sipping morning coffee as mist rises from Lake Como, where every day brings beauty that most people only see in movies. The window for these opportunities won't stay open forever. Italian villages are slowly discovering their own worth, and prices that seem impossible today may look like bargains tomorrow. But right now, for the price of a year's worth of property taxes in many American suburbs, you could own a piece of paradise that transforms not just where you live, but how you live. Thanks for joining us on this journey through Lake Como's hidden treasures. If you're ready to explore more incredible retirement destinations that most people never discover, check out our next video on screen. You'll love what we found. And remember, the best retirement stories aren't about what you saved, but what you discovered was possible all along.